Here with Mark Shea. Thank you again for joining the Off the Page podcast.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, your September cover story in the St. Anthony Messenger addresses Christian nationalism.
hmm
And so, for starters, here, what is Christian nationalism and why did you want to write about it?
Christian nationalism is, I would describe Christian nationalism as a heresy that is to the Christian's relationship with the state as the sin of pride is to the Christian's relationship with himself, if you will. Uh, we are commanded, the two great commandments that we have from our Lord are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love your neighbor as yourself. Uh, what Christian nationalism teaches is kind of a photographic negative of that. So the command to love your neighbor as yourself has various applications. So we apply that, to our families, of course, uh, and we also we continue to extend the boundary of what it means to be a neighbor to our fellow fellow citizens, and that makes sense. So you could say that patriotism, for example, is the love of neighbor extended to your borders. Um, what Christian nationalism does is it it weirdly perverts that command to love neighbor uh, into an excuse for hating those who are not citizens of your country. So it's the sin of pride. The what made the devil was the sin of pride. And what does the devil do? Well, pride loves the self above all else. And you can turn other people into extensions of the ego in that way. So we saw for, its most extreme example that we saw came in the 20th century in Hitler's Germany, where Hitler turns the German people into the extension of his own ego, and then weaponizes that against the rest of the world. And yet, what we saw at the end of World War II, of course, was that as Hitler loses the war, uh, what's revealed, of course, is that the German people never meant anything to him. And so he's ready to just, burn it all down because the German people failed me, is Hitler's attitude to this. And so Christian nationalism, the grave danger of Christian nationalism, is that it perverts these commands to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, mind, and all of your mind and all of your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. It perverts them into turning the nation uh, into an extension of the ego of the Christian nationalism, and in fact, turning God into an extension of the ego of the Christian nationalist. We why does the Christian nationalist love God? Because God's going to make us big and powerful. And as long as he comes through, that's the that's the contract which God has never signed. This is something that the Christian nationalist brandishes and says this is how it's going to be. God is on our side. Uh, all who are not us, and of course, in the mind of the Christian nationalist, the not us includes not simply foreigners, people at the border, etc. It also means any countryman who is not part of the Christian nationalist sect. That's how this is played out.